What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the NFL Conference Championship Fantasy Game Special here at Fantasy and Frames. We've been doing this ever since the first round of the playoffs, where we're going to be competing in some cool fantasy games that are out there. Tonight, we're going to be participating in Fast Drafts, Quick Six Super Slam, do a few drafts over there, as well as do one of the Underdog NFL drafts for Conference Championship weekend. I'm your host, Jorge Edwards. With me, let's start in reverse order. JT, you got here last. How you doing, JT?
Doing all right. The hockey show just finished up our Fantasy and Frames Around the Ice hockey show. We had to move it back from Wednesday to Thursday. Got a bunch of conflicts last night and couldn't make it, so we had to get it done today. So I just finished that one up and jumped on over here.
Very nice. We got the icon, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Andy Behrens, joining us tonight. Andy, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm I'm an ancient person, so this is very late to me. Normally, the nurse would have put me to bed at 8 o'clock. So I'm here. We'll see how long I can make it.
That just means the takes are going to get spicier and spicier the later we go. So love that. Kyle, sir, how you doing, Mr. Titans fan?
I am doing fantastic. I'm dealing with something in my throat though, it's like a cough that I have. So if you see mute a lot, I'm just coughing. So, but I'm fine. And quick question to Andy: This background doesn't look very beachy like I've seen you the last couple of weeks there before the season ended there in Longboat Key. That is not where you are tonight, is it?
No, we've returned home. Can I tell you a quick story? We tried. Oh man, we were in Longboat for the playoff game, right? The wild card game, and I tried to go to a bar that night. There's like one sports bar on Longboat Key. There's some good ones on Siesta, but we didn't want to go all that way. Anyway, like we show up and it's halftime of the Rams-Panthers game, and I'd already been there for week 18 and really enjoyed myself. It was like it was a full day, both early games, late games, loved it. I show up at halftime of the Rams-Panthers game, and I'm walking in, and all of a sudden they put up a sign that says live music tonight. And I'm like, what? And I go in there, and there's this little guy who is setting up in front of the largest TV in the bar, and he starts singing like a Dave Matthews song, and I have to like grab a server and be like, he's gonna stop, right? Like this isn't really happening during the Bears game. You are a football bar. And she was like, oh, no, he plays until 10, 11 every night. They love him. And, like, sure enough, all these locals are showing up to see this little, I don't know, Dave Matthews impersonator or some nonsense like that. I had to get out of there so fast.
I don't even know where to start with the judging, with either the Dave Matthews or doing this at the sports bar with the Bears game on. Like,
I know.
And Kyle, to your point, having a cough where you can barely speak on a podcast / radio show / viewership show. Awesome combination. Can't wait. I'm sure the viewers and listeners cannot wait as well. So yeah, let's get into it. We're a lot of man, the hits, the snap, crackle, and pops. Sorry for the horrible pun there. Just kept rolling this weekend with literally after the AFC game with the Bills and Broncos. You want to talk about heartbreaking for Bo Nix? That news was just. And here's the thing I don't understand: was it on one of the last plays where he's like kneeling or trying to get a first down, or was it like when he was scrambling to the left? Like they said the second to last play, but I'm confused as to which one it was. Either way, to break your ankle after leading your team in overtime to the AFC Championship game, crushing to say the least. That being said, and I'm scrolling the Twitter sheets, and Broncos country, they're actually okay. Jarrett Stidham, you're our guy, and Andy, let me throw this to you. If you were a Broncos fan, would you be sharing that same sentiment that Jarrett Stidham, you're our guy?
I mean, if I have to put myself in the mindset of I have to transfer my Bears fandom to this imaginary Broncos fandom. And hell yeah, I would. That's my quarterback. I for a week I would like to imagine that I could talk myself into Jarrett Stidham. I also think that like obviously Sean Payton is kind of gassing him up, right? And he's talking about how he's one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the league. I'm not totally ruling that out. Like the idea that Jarrett Stidham is the 28th best quarterback in the NFL is totally plausible to me. I'm not dismissing that. I do think they legitimately like him. I don't think that this is just, obviously a lot of this is flattery to build him up and build up the fan base and whatever. He's got a job to do. I get it, but I think they legitimately like him. He was like a first hour of free agency signing for the Broncos when they re-upped his deal. I think a few years ago they wanted to. I think Sean Payton has loved the idea of certainly during like the Russell Wilson season, he would have loved to start Jarrett Stidham. I think he really likes him. I think McDaniels liked him. I think he is a well-liked player. You listen to like former coaches, former players, former teammates. People like this guy. He's also not played in a live NFL game in 2 years, and he's facing a really good defense, and the whole thing can swing on like 2 or 3 plays where you're just a second late, or you're a little bit off, you hesitate, whatever. It's probably not going to go well, but I don't. It's not like Bo Nix is an elite quarterback either. This isn't like the Patriots being without Drake May, and it's not like the Rams being without Matthew Stafford. I'll say that. The Broncos do a lot of other things well, and I'm not going to rule out the possibility of them winning this game.
Yeah, and not to mention, we saw the offensive line get decimated, meaning for the Patriots last week, by the 2 edge rushers there, and Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. Like Nick Medito, not a scrub. Jonathan
so
Cooper.
far, we have only established that Will Campbell can recover fumbles well, and this is about.
Well, I hear that's important too. So yeah, you'll never get any Jarrett Stidham slander from me. Like we were saying before the show, a couple of years ago, I had Russell Wilson as a dynasty quarterback. He went out, he got benched. Stidham was there for me in my championship game, and he led me to a dynasty championship. So I'm not gonna slander him. Another thing we were talking about before you hopped on, how awesome would it be? Stidham's the first play, Stidham drops back, home run ball to Marvin Mims, touchdown to start the game. Would the Broncos country go insane at that point?
That's about the best start they could possibly get. I mean, it's like if you could get like a huge play like that to get that stadium fired up. I got a buddy who lives in Denver. He's from Massachusetts, big Pats fan. He was rooting for this matchup because he was like, if they win, I get to go to the game because he lives in Denver. So he was all fired up about it. He's going to be getting in fights in the stands, I'm sure. He's actually grown up a little. He got thrown out of 3 straight Patriots-Colts games we went to when we were in our 20s. But we're a little older now, a little more mature. Try not to get tossed out of stadiums when we can help it. But yeah, that would get the fans, and that place would be rocking if they could get some kind of big play. I also think, this is one of those games. I think the longer it stays lower scoring because of how good this Denver defense is, I think they could steal one. Like they don't need to go out and score 30 to win this game. I think Denver fans have talked themselves in. We can make some field goals. We can win a really close game. If we sneak it out 17-16, something like that, 16-13, I think they'll be fired up. So I think the longer this game stays close and low scoring, just the more the Broncos fans are going to stay in this thing and think that they have life. The worst thing, I mean, for the Broncos fans, the worst thing that can happen is immediate Patriots score on their first drive, and then like, oh no, now we're playing from behind, and now we have to make plays on offense. I think that's where it'd swing it the other way. But I think the longer this thing stays low scoring or 0-0 or 3-0, the better it is going to be for the Broncos.
For those watching over on X, make sure to head over to our YouTube channel at Fantasy and Frames. Drop some comments in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Somebody who I'm surprised to hear from and say this comment in our YouTube chat is Brandon. He, Fantasy and Frames regular, big Texans fan. And he comments, "What the hell was just sitting here and a football landed in my kitchen that Stroud threw this shade against your own quarterback? I'm shocked because you always are like, the Texans can do no wrong." And so he goes on to say also he broke his ankle. Wah, wah, that's horrible. Come on, Brandon.
That's legit horrible. Wow, that's terrible.
But yeah, and that's here's the thing. The over under minus 4.5 at 42.5 point total. Kyle, speaking, going back to fantasy for a little bit, who's somebody that you think could have a potential breakout in this game that maybe we're not expecting? We were not necessarily expecting prior to the Bo Nix news.
Yeah, I really want to say the defense. Actually, the defense might actually show up. I like what JT said. It's probably going to be a low-scoring game. So offensively, I can't really pinpoint a player unexpectedly, except maybe RJ Harvey will pop off and do something, or J.K. Dobbins. I mean, he might be playing in this game. Maybe he'll surprise us with some goal line touchdowns. But the defense is what's going to win the game for the Denver Broncos if they do it. I mean, they've allowed the 11th fewest passing yards, 212.1 yards per game. They get to the quarterback more than any other defense in the league. They got 79 sacks on the season, pressuring the quarterback on 42% of per dropback, which is like the second highest rate in the NFL. If the Patriots are going to win this game, guys, it's going to be not a walk in the park for them. They're really going to have to earn it. Vance Joseph likes to call the blitz, and that offensive line, you mentioned it earlier, Jorge, that they've been banged up a lot. So if they can get to Drake May, they're going to have to earn it. A lot of people are on the Patriots, and they very well might win the game, but it's going to be probably a defensive battle and a 16-10 type win for the New England Patriots. But offensively, I really can't pinpoint a sleeper that's really going to pop off, because I think it's going to be low scoring. But if I had to pick one, it'd probably be in the run game with RJ Harvey.
And so, you bring up that point with the low scoring nature of this game. That's why we're doing one of these games on FastDraft, the Quick Six Super Slam, because you can assign multipliers to players that you're selecting. And so even in a low scoring game, you can potentially get some upside and get some fantasy points out of those players. And we'll get to those games in a little bit. On the flip side here, going over to the NFC, Rams and Seahawks, I want to throw this back to 2016. It was a Thursday night game. The NFL had a history of horrible Thursday night games, and it was the Sean McVay's first season coaching the Rams. It was Kyle Shanahan's first season coaching the 49ers, and it was Rams at 49ers, and it was literally an offensive showing of Todd Gurley versus Pierre Garçon, who came over in free agency with Brian Hoyer as the quarterback. And this game was lights out, the most entertaining Thursday night football game I had ever seen, and to this point had ever seen up until Thursday night football a few weeks ago, where it was Rams and Seahawks going to overtime, and Sam Darnold, basically throwing on his proton pack and getting rid of all the ghosts he may have seen his rookie season and delivering a game-winning touchdown in the end zone. I saw that. When I see a quarterback who has question marks and hasn't had the longest track record of success in the NFL, when I see them under high-pressure situations deliver successfully, where they're the ones making the play, not just handing the ball off to a running back and having them score for the touchdown and win the game, that told me something, that Sam Darnold is capable of going toe-to-toe with the defense here for the Rams. That being the case, going back to Andy, history repeat itself here from that Thursday night matchup, or are we on board with the Rams just asserting dominance and calling what happened with Darnold just a miracle that won't happen again?
Well, that game also required the wild Charbonnet play, a special teams breakdown, which is part of the profile of the Rams, right? A Shaheed play, It had the full recipe of things that have gone wrong over the course of the season for the Rams, and it was 38-37, right? And the greater worry, of course, if you're a Seahawks fan, is that Puka got whatever he wanted, Stafford got whatever he wanted. It's the one team that in some critical ways has really had the Seahawks number a little bit, right? It's great that Sam Darnold made plays in the most important moments of that game. He has still thrown 6 interceptions against this team this year. And a fair number of interceptions on the season. So I guess he's the worry, right? The Seahawks are about the most balanced team, good in all phases remaining in this group of 4. they have probably the third best quarterback in the group of four too, which is the one, the one issue. Like, I could make an argument, I think, that the Rams have my favorite roster remaining, but they also, like, there's three of these four teams are top 10 in the NFL in both offense and defense in terms of yards per game, and the other one is the Rams. Like, the Rams have some breakdowns, and I thought their corners were terrible against the Panthers. I didn't think they were great against the Bears, but the Bears receivers didn't necessarily cook them. And then of course the Rams have had gaffes on special teams all year, and they find weird ways to make games interesting, and they're kind of a play down to the level of the opponent. And now they're facing a really good opponent. Like, I think this game is just going to be great. So I don't know if I don't know if we get 70 plus points. I don't think it's great necessarily in the same way that the last one was, but I think it's going to be great. And these are, I think there's the two best teams remaining, and it should be really good. The line is close. I've bounced back and forth on who I even think is going to win this game, and you can see the path for both teams. I think I would take Seattle, but I could also imagine the Rams winning this thing by 10.
All right, so let's let that stew for a bit and go back over to the AFC Championship, and let's go around the frames here. And I'll ask each of us will give their take. Who's winning the game and who's going to be the star of the game that's going to help them find success and help their team get over the hump here. So, JT, let's go to you. AFC Championship, Broncos, Patriots. Who's winning and who's your guy that's going to steal the show in that game?
In this one, I think it's going to be the Patriots that win this game. Again, I'm expecting – I'm a little surprised it's 42.5 with Nick's out. I just think both these defenses are really tough. If they were going to get to this point, I was writing their defenses opposed to their offenses that I liked in this game. For me and you, Jorge, IDP guys, I love all the IDP guys in this game. I don't love the offense as much. To me – it's got to be low scoring. If you're the Broncos, you just have to shut them down. Man, I just think May makes too many plays. I don't think he has to play an unreal game, but I just think he's going to make too many plays with his legs, just do things to keep drives alive long enough. I just think he's going to end up being the difference maker player in this game. So I think this game is low scoring. I'm taking the under 42.5 in this one. And I know, honestly, I'm probably going to jump on a lot of unders for player props, just because I just think this game, it feels like it's going to be real. It's either going to be real close, low scoring, or somehow Patriots come out offensively looking spectacular right away. It just crushes the Broncos' soul because the only way they stay in this game is defense. And if they get behind early, then it's going to be like, oh no, now we have to throw with Stidham. We're in trouble. And then I could see this just being an utter blowout by the Patriots. I just think the defense is going to play well enough to keep them in it. But I think the guy, if I'm taking anything on anybody, I'm probably jumping on like Drake May rushing yards and anytime touchdown. I just think he's going to make a play or two that's going to end up being the difference maker for New England in this one.
All right, Kyle, what about you?
Yeah, so I just talked the Broncos up, but if you're going to make me pick, I'm going to pick the New England Patriots. I mean, Drake May is balling right now. He's probably one of the hottest quarterbacks in right now in the playoffs, and a lot of people point to that schedule that they have faced this season, but man, he's playing at such an elite level, guys. I don't think it matters. I mean, he threw the third most completions of 20 plus yards on the season. His deep ball accuracy has also been superb. I mean, third among quarterbacks who had at least 300 completions. The Patriots should have an opportunity here to shut the critics up, facing one of the best defenses in the NFL to punch their ticket. Drake May also the Broncos, played a fourth most man coverage in the league. Well, Drake May has done great against that, against man coverage. He's got a season average of 9.6 yards per attempt against man. I'm going to take Drake May. I'm going to ride with him. I think the New England Patriots do win a close one, like a 16-10 game.
I'm going to go Patriots. I think Hunter Henry is going to be the target monster there for the Patriots. I think the secondary, referees assisting them or not, and I know that's a highly controversial topic for some of you Bills fans out there. This secondary is no joke, which means they're going to rely on these linebackers to help slow down Hunter Henry, and I just don't see that being the case. I see him getting peppered with targets. Andy, how about you?
I love that you guys all seem to think that it can be low scoring and kind of messy, but you're all too cowardly to say that Ramondre Stevenson is going to score twice in a game like that, which is of course what would happen. Of course, that is what would happen. But I agree with the general sentiment that like Drake May is just going to make plays. Like he wasn't even. The Texans were good defensively, and Drake May wasn't great, and they made him uncomfortable. And still, the throw to Booty was sick, and the throw to Diggs was sick, and like he's going to make plays. And I think the Broncos believe in Jarrett Stidham. I don't think that's a total lie, but Jarrett Stidham can't make those plays. We've never seen it, and I just think that Drake May probably makes 2 or 3 plays that decide the game. In a positive way, and perhaps Stidham makes 2 or 3 plays that decide it the other way. If it is a low-scoring, messy game, for sure Ramondre is finding the end zone. Like that's home base for him. That is absolutely what would happen. I also Kyle was right though to call out J.K. Dobbins. If there is a path for Denver, and of course there's a path for Denver. He's got to come back and be a double-digit touch player because you just take these touches that are going to like Jaleel McLaughlin and give them to somebody who is actually successful in that role. Like that is, Dobbins has been so valuable to that team and as exciting as RJ Harvey has been, it's mostly splash plays and it's the touchdowns and there's just a lot of 2-yard gains in there. And Dobbins is the guy who gets you, into 2nd and 5 and into 3rd and 1. And like, man, Dobbins coming back and being pretty close to early season Dobbins would be such a difference.
All right, Andy, let's stick with you. Have you had time to mull over who's winning the NFC Championship? And if so, who's your hero for that game?
So official prediction is literally like I'm probably like 52% Seattle, 48% Rams. I don't have a hard lean on that game, and I think the last game shows why. Right, really close. In my Seattle wins scenario, I think Ken Walker is decisive. And I think probably like a random AJ Barner touchdown ends up being decisive. But I have a little bit more faith in Seattle. I can see it going either way.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Seattle and Ken Walker. Kyle, what about you?
Defense usually wins these games, but I'm sticking with the Rams. I've been with them since the preseason. They're number 1 scoring offense in the NFL. We know who they are. They got Puka, they got Devontae, they got Matthew Stafford, the league MVP. It'll be Matthew Stafford. I'm going to take the offense in this one, but I could see Seattle winning it. But I'm going to stick with the Rams.
All right, JT, I'm going to ask you to take an IDP because it wouldn't be Fantasy and Frames if we weren't covering both sides of the ball. So who's winning this game and who's an IDP player that people should be counting on for some success this week in this game?
Whoa. I tell you what, I'm kind of like Kyle in that I took the Rams to win the Super Bowl. And I kind of like when the playoffs started and everything, I was like, I think this is setting up to be – I thought it was going to be possibly Rams Patriots or Rams Texans because I thought whoever made it in the AFC, it was going to be a defensive team who just got enough offense. And we kind of got there with Denver and Houston and the Patriots. But on the other side – much more offensive, where the one defensive team on the NFC side is the Seahawks, right? So I really want to take Seattle, and I want to see Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl just because I've talked him up so much over the last couple of years. I said that he could win a Super Bowl, and people said I was crazy. So I want to take him for that reason, but I think the Rams, I just think Stafford ends up being the difference maker at QB with Puka. I think the Rams just get enough defense to get it done. IDP for me in this one is, man, I just think the Rams up front. I think Jared Verse, one of these defensive ends is going to have a big game. He's going to create a turnover, get in Darnold's face, make him make a bad throw, tip a pass, get a fumble. And I think that is where I think the CL defense is going to play really well, but I think turnovers, I think the Rams are going to be able to get a couple turnovers that swing this thing, and I think the defense is going to do it. I think a Verse strip sack or a Verse where he gets in and tips one up in the air and Landman or somebody picks it off. I think that's where we're at. I think the Seattle defense is really scary to me. but I just think the Stafford versus Darnold is like by far the biggest quarterback, just separation. Like Stafford is by far the best quarterback left in the league right now. I know May's been good, but he's still young. It's still playoff football. I think Stafford is the guy. So that's why I'm leaning Rams, even though I really think, man, what the Seattle defense did against the Niners was super impressive. But I just think Stafford is going to be the difference maker. And I think you're going to see turnovers. Rams takeaways is going to be the difference maker.
Did you just go Troy Aikman and literally call him Landman like you did on Monday Night Football a couple weeks ago? Did I hear that correctly? Everybody in the chat, did you hear that?
No, that's what I said. He said Landman.
Landman. I'm like, all right.
I feel like people have not like appropriately considered all of the implications of a potential Sam Darnold, Jarrett Stidham Super Bowl. Like that is such a narrative destroying Super Bowl, and it is.
I didn't even think
right
about that.
There.
How bad would that be?
It is so close.
None of us seem to be worried at all about.
The NFL's not going to let that happen.
Right,
NFL's not letting that happen. They cannot go to the Super Bowl with propping up Stidham and Darnold.
If it is
head to head for it all. I mean, it'll be the one Super Bowl where like everyone's talking about defense and we're only taking IDP props. The whole Super Bowl in that one.
I mean, yeah. All right, folks, let's get into
that is
a couple
depressing,
of games.
Andy. You just said that. I didn't even think about that, but that would be kind of depressing. That would really would be bad.
Well, let's add some happiness to this depressing conversation as we're talking about just now, and let's play some games. Games make everybody happy. You know what I'm saying? Let's go and do a fast draft, quick six, super slam. We'll do a couple of these because why not? So I'll throw it up on screen. And so I just want to show everybody like the interface of what you'll see when you're doing it on your phone. And so $10 entry, $3,000 prize pool. It is currently at 42% full. If you are new to the FastDraft app, use the promo code FRAMES to get matched up to $50. And we're going to enter the tournament, checking location. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, I am in the right location. Keep going, Mr. Rabbit, as your wheel is spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. Boom, here we go. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots. We got a captain spot with a 2 times multiplier, followed by a 1.75, a 1.5, 1.25, and 2 1 multipliers here. Running back, wide receiver, tight end. It's not timed, folks. You literally just go on here and you just assign a player where you want. And so, Andy, there have been a couple trains of thoughts when we've been doing these throughout the playoffs each week. And that is, when we were having teams that were in highly, well, I guess every game has been really good in terms of like having a high scoring output. But, the thought process was, okay, if you were going to take like a JSN or a Puka or a CMC, do you want to max out their output by giving them the highest multipliers and giving them the captaincy here, or do you want to take them at their floor and put them at the lowest and kind of help boost some players that are maybe not normally projected to do as well, but give them the extra oomph with the higher multiplier? What strategy would you employ here?
I guess I understand that. It feels a little galaxy brainy, and I would probably, if I had a hard lean. The problem is maybe it's May. Maybe Drake May is just the guy that you do that with, because I feel more confident in the Patriots than I do in either the Seahawks or the Rams in terms of like getting through this thing. And so it would probably be May for me. I'd probably go star.
We're gonna have to redo this one, Andy. We're gonna have to throw you a loop here. We actually don't do quarterbacks in this one. It's running backs, wide receivers, or tight ends.
Oh, good God!
Now we reset the brain here. We're not going quarterbacks at all. Running back, wide receiver, tight end.
Yeah, I will also reveal that I can't even sign up for one of these things because I'm sitting in Michigan right now, and that's a Michigan problem. It's not it's not an app problem. Come on, man. Yeah, I mean, I would probably still go star though. I would probably still go. It's either Nakua or it's Ken Walker. It might be Ken Walker for me, but I would probably go star over the guy that you just want to give a helping hand to.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes it is good to go a little chalk because they're studs, right?
That's the thing. Like you gotta. You don't want to be in the situation where like you can't possibly win this thing unless you had the obvious chalky pick. But like sometimes you really do need the chalky pick.
All right, Kyle, let's go to you. Let's go to the 1.75 multiplier. Who is somebody here that you want to take advantage of, whether it's their ceiling or their floor?
All right, so I was going to ask you guys, how chalky do we want to get? So we got Puka that's pretty chalky at 2, but you mentioned it earlier, Andy. He's another good player. He's going to get a lot of the work, and Kenneth Walker. We can go Kenneth Walker at 1.75. I mean, he is literally the only running back in Seattle now. Now, I'm not saying that George Halani's not going to get any action, because I could kind of see maybe him being a very, very deep sleeper. He looked very good in preseason. Of course, that was preseason, but he's the next man up for the Seattle Seahawks. I don't know how much work they're going to give Kenneth Walker in the amounts of like 30-plus carries. So Holani's going to get something, but not enough to warrant playing in this kind of game, correct?
Yeah, I can't imagine. They got to lean on Ken Walker. Like, it's a one-game season now. Yeah.
And so just to also give people some context as for the game. So this particular game is not just for this weekend. You're selecting these players, and this is going to ride out through the Super Bowl. So just keep that in mind, that if you have these players that you're predicting to make it to the Super Bowl, you probably if you have a team that you're predicting to make the Super Bowl, you should probably hedge your bet that you're selecting the players that are going to make it that far, or maybe they just have a really good conference game and that's enough to carry you through with the multiplier.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Jorge, because if we're going to go Puka in the 2 and then we go Walker in the 1.75, I feel good about one of those getting to the Super Bowl, a really good star player in the Super Bowl, whether it be Walker or Puka.
Okay, so if you had to do a Seahawk here, Walker or JSN?
I'll go Walker here because of the carries, and maybe we get a little different. Maybe a lot of people still are on JSN, where we can go Kenneth Walker in this situation and take advantage of the run game as the only running back in Seattle.
Is this? I mean, again, I'm sorry that you guys have to explain the game as we do this thing live. But there's no bench here?
There's no bench. It's literally just these 6 positions.
You got to draft a team where you can have a full lineup in the Super Bowl, right? Like, we can't be splitting the Rams and the Seahawks.
You can. I mean,
I know we literally can.
But we could do 4 of these right now. If you wanted to make it all Rams, 2 of them all Rams, and then one of them all Seahawks.
I would just say that my general approach would be like, let's play for a Rams Patriots Super Bowl. Let's play for a Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl. Those are the 2 things that seem likely to me. It's probably the way I would approach this.
All right, okay. JT, welcome back. Who would you take at the 1.5?
Yeah, thanks. Sorry about that. I was having some computer issues. I had to shut something down and get back on there. I was freezing. For me, I do like the Ken Walker pick at the 1.75 with the Puka at the 2. A guy I like, and part of the reason I like him is I think they're going to win, and that's the Patriots. I like Travion Henderson. He hasn't looked great in the playoffs. He's gotten some carries. He's yet to break a big one. I think he could be due for one, and he could be he just has that feeling, one of those guys, like the Patriots make the Super Bowl, whether it's the Rams or the Seahawks that they play, and they need somebody to bust something out on offense, and he's a guy that ends up having like a really good game, breaking off like a 50-yarder, has a couple catches and makes some nice plays. So I like Henderson and the fact that I'm going to get 2 games out of him. I don't feel like he's a very chalky play. I'm not 100% sure on the percentages, but I think so it looks like he's only 18%. So it's like I kind of like throwing Travion Henderson in there, expecting 2 games. He hasn't been great, which is going to get other people off of him.
Yeah,
that you could see that was 84 for Walker and 18% for Travion Henderson. I'm like, I like the Travion Henderson because if he goes off and plays really well, he could be that guy that ends up being, everybody else has Puka, Walker has the main guys, and that's the guy that's the difference maker for you, especially if you think the Patriots are going to win, which I think they are. That's where I go Henderson.
All right. I am going to go a little bit outside the box here for the 1.25, and I'm gonna stick by my guns and go Hunter Henry here. Like I said, I anticipate him being peppered a lot in this game with the wide receivers kind of being blanketed there against Denver, which brings us to 2 one-time multiplier spots here. And here's a situation where, I think it'd be foolish to not throw in Jackson Smith and Jigba, but he could actually have you a decent floor in both of these games that you may not necessarily be thinking you would need a multiplier to salvage any performance that he could have that is not advantageous to you. So let's throw JSN there. And then the last player to pick from Andy, let's go back to you. Diggs, Devontae Adams, like who Ramondre.
Yeah, listen, I would want one of the, because to JT's point, you want to differentiate a little bit in things like this. You want to try to find players that are not just going to be universally in rosters. It's got to be a mix of the guys that you think are going to be on everyone's roster and yet still dominate, and then a handful of guys that are lesser owned. I don't know what like the roster percentage is for Diggs or Booty, but I can tell you that if the Rams make it, both of those guys are going to cook those Rams corners. I just do not like the way the Rams corners are playing at all. And I know they made some plays on the ball in the Bears game, but I have greater confidence in the Patriots making this. It could be wrong, but I have greater confidence in the Patriots making the Super Bowl than almost any team remaining in the field. So I'd probably take one of those guys.
So
Andy, Andy, real quick, Andy, I really like the fact that you mentioned Stephon Diggs because he was a player that I wanted to put in there too. Because if we're going to think he makes it to the Super Bowl, even in the game against Denver, the week before, he ran 60% out of the slot against Houston to avoid Stingley Jr. So I think they're going to kind of do the same thing, put him in the slot to avoid Pat Surtain. So maybe he pops off again in the game against Denver here.
And I feel like there's sort of a knee-jerk, we have to avoid Surtain at all costs, right? And that means avoiding the number one, whoever he is, who's facing him. And the smart teams find ways so that their number one receiver is not shadowed 100% of the time. And again, like I just feel like if the Patriots, the Rams could still win the game and should probably still be the favorite, but if it ends up being Rams and Patriots, those guys are gonna burn the Rams corners a few times.
Yeah,
right, let's lock in.
I was just gonna say, as you guys were talking about it, Diggs was gonna be my pick because I'm like, if we like the Patriots to make it, we got to get 2 games. We get 2 games out of these guys. Then you got to assume Diggs is gonna be in the mix, and I would have maybe put Diggs where Jorge put Hunter Henry, but I like both those guys because I do think they're gonna get work Hunter Henry. I just think you go there, and then I don't mind it. I think the JSN play is good. Because if they win, you're like, oh, great, I get 2 games of JSN. If they don't win, he could have a good enough game anyway to get you some pretty quality points. And so I like the fact that we feel good about the Patriots making the Super Bowl. So to me, getting 3 Patriots, especially on a team who hasn't been super awesome offensively all year, and then if you look at those percentages, 18%, 17%, 22%. That's how you win. That's how you win. If you can get those guys that have some pretty good games and then you go 3 chalky guys at 90%, 84 and 93. I feel like that's a nice little recipe of chalk, just enough chalkiness, but just enough randomness that can put you over the top.
All right.
One of the things that I would really like about a lineup that especially something that just leans into the idea of a Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl, for example, is like, if the Seahawks are going to get through and make it to the Super Bowl, I know who's going to have the big games. Like it's going to be JSN and Ken Walker. I know exactly where to go, and then I can sprinkle in a few Patriots as I choose.
Well, on that note, let's get a little crazy, okay? Before we get crazy, sorry, a little jump the gun here. The most popular players in this contest so far, starting at 1. JSN followed by Puka, Ken Walker, Kyron Williams, Ramondre, Devontae, RJ Harvey, Diggs, Henderson, and Kayshon Boutte rounds out the top 10. But let's get a little crazy. Okay, Andy, I don't know whether you were joking or you were being serious, but in a couple of these contests, let's go all one team. Let's go all Patriots.
Well, I wouldn't go all one team. I would go all one scenario, right? Like,
okay.
I would be like, okay, the Seahawks and Patriots are making the Super Bowl, so I'm not going to have any Rams. I want
okay.
I want a contest that can have a full lineup in the Super Bowl, and that obviously it can face plant. But if you're playing in a big contest, I kind of feel like that's the way you got to do it.
All right. Well,
I like that because you want to get if you're going to win in this, you pretty much have to have as many guys as possible get 2 games, right? Because you got to get the 2-point totals in there. So I think that's a good route to go. I think you go, like Andy said, I think you go Patriots, and then you just pick, like, is it Rams or Seahawks? Whoever we're picking we think is going to win the game, then I think you go all those guys. I totally agree with him on that.
I'm on board.
All right, so how about we do this, John? Let's do quickly one Super Slam where it's Patriots Rams and then Patriots Seahawks. How about that? Let's go with that. So let's do Andy, like you were just talking about, the Seahawks and the Rams at the 2. If it's the Seahawks, I'm still Ken Walker. I'm actually moving Ken Walker up to 1 here, just because of the volume that he'd be getting. Does anybody have a disagreement with that? Or
no, I like that because I think most people would go JSN. I don't know. Maybe it's different on different platforms, but generally what I've seen is JSN ahead of Ken Walker, even though Ken Walker is now the very clear lead back.
Yeah.
So then the question here, Kyle, is at 1.75. What are we thinking here?
I'm still thinking we go JSN with Kenny Walker.
Okay.
I think that's the move.
All right. Well then, JT, what's the move at 1.5?
So here, I think, you've got obviously the 2 clear-cut best offensive players for the Seahawks. I think you either go a random Seahawk player that you think could have a big game, or you think, okay, I'm going to take who I think is going to have the best 2 games out of the Patriots, since we're going 1-5 here. Man.
Cooper Kupp. No, I'm just kidding. No. Rashid
I kind of think
no.
he could be an interesting. I almost think you go with I think you either go Diggs or one of the 2 running backs for the Pats. If you feel a little bit better about Ramondre getting more of the touches in 2 games than Henderson, since we went Henderson in the last one, I could see going Ramondre or Diggs here. I'll let you guys throw in your 2 cents on this, but that's what I would do. One of those Pats guys here at 1.5.
I'm okay throwing Diggs in here. What about you, Andy?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I will say I cannot imagine a scenario where the Patriots get to the Super Bowl and Ramondre Stevenson does not score at least 1 touchdown over the next 2 games. Like, it's nobody wants to predict it. I get it. We all like Henderson. We all like every skill player who isn't Ramondre, but he's definitely going to find the end zone if they make it.
Yeah, and if you feel that way, maybe Ramondre in the 1.25 is a little bit more contrarian, and we can do that.
Okay, let's do that. Why not? Let's put Ramondre at the 1.5 and then
Diggs or
1.25. I'm sorry, were you saying put Ramondre at the 1.25?
No, but something tells me with that mistake that's the way to go.
Yeah, that's like those are the ones who are like, oh, I had a mistake, so now
it's Savant over here. Yeah,
telling me to
I'm
leave
not
it,
changing
leave it
that.
there.
That's it. Now we just got to figure out our 2 1s. I like that.
All right. So now Devonta Adams has not been looking like himself. For obvious.
Well, we're Jorge. We're going either Pats or.
What am I doing? Yeah, sorry.
Or Seahawks player here. So yeah, get those Rams players out of your mind.
Sorry.
So kind of the question is, like, you probably go one guy who's as chalky as any that's left, and one guy who's a weirdo, right? One guy who's just like is going to distinguish your roster from other rosters.
I'm thinking AJ Barner, because if Seattle wins, it always seems like he gets a big touchdown and plays well in some of those games when, like, if they're all over everybody else, Cooper Kupp does nothing, it's like they're trying to find somebody else other than JSN to get the ball. I feel like AJ Barner is one of those guys that would be just different enough. And I just like Barner slightly more than the Rams guys because they use a couple different guys. You never know which is going to quite be the guy. So that's where I lean a little bit, AJ Barner. If you want to get something that's like pretty off the board, I mean, was it 4.2% for AJ Barner? That would be my choice if you're going a random Seahawk here.
Yeah, would it be 2 additional tight ends here with Henry and Barner.
That's exactly where I was about to go. I was about to throw that out there. Oh man, let's get crazy. Let's get crazy and see what happens here. All right, so we'll submit that lineup, and we'll do one more before Kyle. You pull up an Underdog draft. And we'll do this one. So now this one is going to be Patriots Rams. Both of these matchups are rematches of Super Bowls that I hope if it's Rams Patriots, it's a redemption of the one that was in Atlanta. And if it is Seahawks and Patriots, I hope it's a repeat of what it was, minus they actually giving the ball to Ramondre at the 1 yard line versus not giving it to Marshawn way back in the day. So
I love that we're just shutting out the Broncos. I love what's happening.
I don't understand. Mr. Scamper says go full Broncos. I'm gonna pass. Do a little hard pass there. Mr. Scamper says Nick Van Nett still a Seahawk. I do not believe so.
That's a name for the past. I had Nick Van Nett on a dynasty league for probably 2 or 3 years past when I should have legitimately cut him on a team one time. I'm like, he's eventually gonna hit. He's got that 5 or 6 year breakout coming.
All right, so at the 2 spot here, Puka Nacua, hands down, locking it in, right, guys? Andy, going back to you, 1.75. What are your thoughts here?
I mean, it's a question of Devontae, Kyron. The right answer in this scenario, like to actually win a contest, would probably be guessing at a Patriot. I don't think I would do it. I think I'd probably still go Kyron here.
Okay, going Kyron Williams here. Okay, Kyle, 1.5. What are we thinking?
Let's switch it off the Rams and let's go back to the Patriots for the 1.5. And let's go Ramondre here.
Okay. Going Ramondre Stevenson here. JT, 1.25. And how's he frozen? No,
Man, I kind of feel like Devontae. He's the touchdown maker. If the Rams get in there, they're going to have to put up points. And we've seen it that they can put up a lot of points this year. I think you go Devontae here with going Ramondre in the spot ahead, since he went to a spot ahead of him.
All right, so that leaves us the 2 one multipliers here. Going back to Andy. Oh man, I say the name Colby Parkinson. Your reaction is?
Yeah, that's the of the collection of tight ends. That's probably the one I feel best about. Obviously the play in the Carolina game was phenomenal. And he was just a weirdly a touchdown maker down the stretch. I feel better about Parkinson than any of the other Rams tight ends. It's weird that they have 3 guys that are totally in play, but yeah, Parkinson would be the one. And I don't know, it feels icky, but it's hard to leave Stephon Diggs out of this.
Right.
But also, like, if it's these 2 teams, the Rams in particular, a 2 tight end lineup feels almost appropriate.
So we want to double up with Hunter Henry in both of these contests here. Okay.
I don't know. I'll open that for a vote.
I'm also saying if we don't go Diggs,
go Travion.
would it be to get another pad out there? Go either Travion Henderson or Boutte here.
Yeah.
If you're not going Diggs at wide receiver, would you say, hey man, if they kind of shut down Diggs, he's got to get somebody else down the field? Is that turned into a couple big catches for Boutte in a game against, like Andy said? I mean, the difference is, if you're going against the Rams, you don't like their corners. If they kind of shut down Diggs, is Boutte the guy that ends up having the big game on the outside against a not great corner group for the Rams?
I love that. Yeah, actually.
All right, let's do it. Let's lock it in.
I feel like that might be the winner. That actually might be the overall winner.
All right.
We'll have to remember that.
All right, folks. Well, like I said, this is the FastDraft app. It is seriously, these contests are so much fun. You could have so much fun just rationalizing them. Not too expensive. Use the promo code FRAMES. Get matched up to $50. It is awesome. Kyle, let's do an underdog draft before we get out of here. How are we with that setup right now?
We are just waiting on 3, but I will pull it up right here.
Okay.
And I will talk about what to expect here. Make sure.
Let me check, because I might be able to jump in on that real quick. Let me see. I'll fill up one of the 3 spots and I can do it different.
All right. Got it pulled up here. You guys can see the screen.
Okay, so we're waiting for still 3. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. No,
Which
draft starts in 50 seconds. We're
That guy's
good.
full,
Well,
yeah.
well, there we go.
So we are right here.
I was downloading, get ready to get in. It filled up right as mine was.
So how do the rules work right here, Kyle? I see quarterbacks are an option here.
Yeah, so it is a 6-round draft, 4 teams, so everybody will get a quarterback. You get a running back, wide receiver, tight end, and of course a flex. 6 rounds. And how I pretty much see this as here's the draft order here to the left. You got Puka, JSN. This is your like rankings list right here, Kyron. Being at the 4-5 here, we can probably get a Matthew Stafford, Devontae Adams stack if we want to do that, or Drake May. One of these guys will be available for us.
Yeah.
So what I see typically in these drafts, Puka, Kenneth Walker, or JSN at the 2, and then the other guy will go 3, and then we're having a choice between Kyron, Drake May, or Matthew Stafford, Devontae Adams. And we are off and running.
We got
here.
like 30 seconds to pick, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, I've done.
So
a
we
few
gotta
of
be-
these.
we gotta be on it.
I've never seen a different top 3. Like the top 3 is always Puka, JSN,
These 3,
and
right?
Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So
much
you
how
thinking? So where are we at? Where is the first pick gone? Yep, Puka's gone. Which one are we?
Yep.
Are we?
we're at 4 right here.
And this
What's-
is also
okay, who you
this
guys
is
think?
a,
Are
this
you
is a
guys
conference
thinking
championship
QB?
only contest, right?
Correct. This is the
Yeah.
AFC NFC championship games. Yeah, single game. So we're up. So we want to go Kyron. Do we want to go Matthew Stafford? We got back-to-back picks with 25 seconds. You want to do a stack? We could go Kyron and Adams, but we won't get Stafford.
The other thing is we need 2 receivers, right? And there are like only 5 receivers that you're gonna like.
I'd almost stack Stafford and Devontae together, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Here we go.
So that's what we will do. We will get the stack here.
Because I've also seen plenty of these where if you don't take Stafford or May here, you're the guy who gets
Jared
Stidham.
Stidham.
Nobody wants Stidham, right?
I mean, AFC Championship hero Jared Stidham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what, Andy? I guarantee you, he might just be on the winning slate. like that's
right,
the way...
right. It's totally in play. It's in play. And actually, I've seen some of these the picking first in this is a little bit of an advantage because you kind of run out of names that you're really excited about, right? And
Right,
your first three names from the one spot are really good. And so if you're that team and you end up taking Stidham and he can just go like 201-1, you can still win.
So are we thinking here with our next picks, we're going to be looking at like an RJ Harvey, Cortland Sutton, or Hunter Henry. I know, Jorge, you like Hunter Henry. We might be looking at him with one of our 2 picks. Travion as well.
I mean, if Travion and Hunter Henry are available, I would be okay going back to back with that. I kind of want to avoid, as much as I'm joking, but kind of serious, but joking about AFC Championship winning game Jared Stidham. I like those 2 players for the Patriots, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the Broncos offense is like by far the least guys I want because you just don't know who it's going to be, and I don't have confidence in anybody on their offense.
Okay, so
to have
Hunter
a QB.
Henry went.
The,
So we
the
can
other
get-
thing about this though is that like if we don't get our running back here, we're gonna get Blake Corum.
So we
And
should
I
go
kind of like
Travion.
Travion. I think, yeah.
So we got Travion here, and what else are we thinking? I can pick them now. And now we're looking at Keyshawn Boutte. We can get AJ Barner maybe later.
Man,
Yeah, I think Hunter Henry's like a tier of 1 tight end in this contest, right? And it doesn't matter now that he's gone. So I'd go hard.
Can you only play one quarterback?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I'd go either Harvey or Boutte then.
Yeah, I'm thinking Harvey. He'll get the touches, right? So we'll have Henderson and Harvey. We'll have the run game there. It's not bad. I like what we got here. I mean, looking at it here, we got Stafford, Travion, Harvey, Devontae Adams. Nice little Ram stack. We can come back with maybe a tight end on the way back with Colby Parkinson if we want.
Yeah, the way I've played these is like if I don't get Hunter Harvey, then my last pick is just the tight end.
Yeah, so you've gone double tight end in these, right? Have you done like Hunter Henry and like a Colby Parkinson?
I haven't been that wild because I've been taking J.K. Dobbins some of the time too.
Oh, see, we can queue him up if we. Well,
I don't think we can. We filled the flex and we filled the running back, right? Yeah.
Yep. So it's
So we
Tight
need
end.
one
Dobbins might
wide
not
receiver,
play.
one
Dobbins
tight
is not a lock to play. So, but whatever. If you're trying to win a big contest, you wanna find somebody who might actually find the end zone and not be rostered everywhere.
So these 3 receivers are options, and we're going to have a receiver. So Cooper Kupp, Marvin Mims, Rashid Shaheed. I kind of like Cooper Kupp. We'll little revenge game maybe for Cooper Kupp. He's looked kind of good here late. I don't know. It's dart throws at this point. Do we really trust Marvin Mims off that?
I mean,
one
I
game?
don't mind going Kupp if you can get
Kupp's
him.
gone. He
Yeah,
just went
go.
before us. So now it's
Okay.
between Marvin Mims and Shaheed.
I'm telling you, Stidham, Marvin Mims, opening play of the game, set the tone.
You want to go Shaheed?
I kind of like. I mean, my concern with Mims is that like Bryant and Franklin are practicing. I didn't think it would be like that, but I don't even know.
Oh, I didn't
Mims
realize
gonna-
Brian is practicing out there the concussion on Saturday.
Yeah.
And what do you guys think about Evan Ingram? Will Jarrett Stidham maybe kind of lean on him a little bit for a tight end? Because we need a tight end now. So it's either him or
Who's left
Ferguson,
on tight end?
Cooper.
Maybe Ingram if you don't. If AJ Barner and all those other guys are gone,
Yeah.
I don't mind Ingram there.
Okay. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Maybe, I don't know. I know it's a dart throw, right? But I mean, maybe Stidham will lean on him a little bit.
Cooper,
they're all
sometimes steals one from them. All these guys are like praying they just catch like a couple balls or they randomly get a TD. That's where you're at.
Henry's the one guy who is definitively not a dart throw. Parkinson might be like, his own tier, and then it's everybody else, I think.
So we pretty much finished with Matthew Stafford, Travion Henderson, RJ Harvey, Devontae Adams, Rashid Shaheed, and Evan Ingram for the AFC NFC championship games. What do you guys think?
This is remarkably fast and efficient.
Yes.
I love this. This is great. This is fantastic.
It really is a good game, and I also think this is about as good as you can do from picking fourth, which again is not ideal because like picking first, you're definitely you just run out of running backs and wide receivers, and you got to fill 2 receiver spots. So like getting Devontae at the turn there was critical because if we had not gotten Devontae, our best receiver would have been Booty.
Right.
Oh, that would have been rough.
Awesome.
Yeah, if we get a good Rams offensive game, that should be a nice stack for us. You'd hope for where we're drafted.
All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it for the fantasy game show here for the NFL Conference Championship weekend. Andy, as always, being a regular on the Sunday kickoff show this past season, it is always a pleasure sharing the screen with you and talking shop with you. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, man.
Oh, I love you guys, and let the record show that I sought you out for this. This wasn't like you chasing me down. I was like, "Hey, Jorge, you should have me on."
Well, we have one more show coming up for the Super Bowl contest. So if you're available, you have an open invitation as always to join. JT, Kyle, any parting words before we get out of here?
Andy, maybe I should delete my tweet then. The 1-day contract. We signed you as the GOAT. You seeked us out, huh?
Yep.
Go ahead, JT.
Had my agent
I was just
reach
gonna
out
say,
to Nate and Jorge. Yeah.
Good luck on those bets this week. The Niners absolutely murdered me. I had a ton of big teasers going, and I hit everything else was beautiful. And the Niners not being able to stay within 2 touchdowns just was crushingly blow. So that killed me this week. So now I feel like, as a classic gambler, I got crushed last week, so now it's my week, right? So now I'm going to hit everything. So going in with new confidence this weekend for the championship games. Hopefully we get some good ones.
Tweet out your bets, JT. I'll tell you, man. I got some extra dough.
I'll throw some out there. I'll throw them out.
Well, folks, thank you very much. And remember, give us a follow at Fantasy and Frames, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. And don't forget to head over to fantasyandframes.com. We got an early Superflex rookie mock draft. We have an early rookie IDP mock draft out here. We got positional looks on offense and an IDP at the various individual positions. So the content doesn't stop here at Fantasy and Frames. We really enjoy you all joining us tonight. We will be back for the Super Bowl preview, doing these fantasy games as well on the Fantasy and Frames Fantasy Game Show. So enjoy conference weekend, and you all take care, and we'll see you next